Hey everyone, this is the Heroes Podcast. I'm so excited back again. And I've got Ahmed Assaf from the Middle East. How are you, Assaf?
All good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much. I will introduce you and then we'll go into your story, of course.
Sure.
So Ahmed is a seasoned entrepreneur and he has a rich background in project management and facilities management spanning over 15 years. His personal journey, driven by a thirst of freedom, oh, I love that, continuous learning, leadership transformation, and the highest quality of life, led him to become a certified consultant uh, from an esteemed Proctor and Galagher Institute. His unwavering goal is to empower and guide corporations and individuals, ensuring they reach peak performance and achieve continuous quantum leap challenges in their results. He does this through the most powerful transformation programs in the field of personal and professional growth and development. His compelling vision is to significantly enhance the quality of life globally by elevating quality of thoughts individually. He achieves this by educating and empowering his audience through products, services, and events that expand awareness, harmonize people with the natural, immutable laws of the universe. Wow, I
That's
love
you.
that.
Thank you,
Do
Andrew,
you
for
want
this
to,
amazing introduction.
Ahmed, do you want to take us back to the beginning if you haven't started out
Yes,
as a
because
coach?
most of the people around us, they just see the thing once it's like already, this is the successful person that we're looking for, that whatever hidden under the ground, they never see. But all what you've been talking about now and this introduction, under the ground, there was lots of pain, lots of doubt, lots of worry, lots of unwilling to commit, frustration. And the thing started in once I finished my master's degree because I was obsessed with engineering and it was my dream to be an engineer. And I thought that that's what I'm looking for. I finished my master's degree in mechatronics, and but I was overwhelmed with lots of debt, more than $200,000. That was back in 2012. So my whole goal was just a working day and night, and my goal was just to go out of debt. And I just kept working very hard. I started as a project engineer in one of the contracting companies, but I'm still having those feelings inside of me that I'm not satisfied from my results. I want the freedom. I want to go out of debt, but I'm still having those feelings, that frustration. I don't know the vibration. It's not the things that what I really want, but I don't know why. So I kept in that way. I thought that maybe if I be developing myself professionally, and I took PMP certified, but still it's not the thing. And then I thought maybe if I changed my field, it will in my field. I moved from a project management to facility management, so I could have at least a better income, so I can close all the debt. But it took me 10 years to cover all this amount, and it was about chasing money, which is chasing the wrong thing. That's why I was stuck with my results. Number one, I was unwilling to commit. I'm willing to commit to change. And two is there was lots of distractions. And distractions, I mean by that inside of me, of who am I, what I'm doing, what do I really want, and outside distractions. And that leads to procrastination. And I want to do something, but I was desperate. I don't know why I'm not committed to it. So I was doing the wrong things. And I didn't know what should be done the right way. I was looking for success as if it was like a secret, but it's not. And now we will be going through that point. But I could tell that I was in a desperate period from 2010 almost to 2015. Then I transformed a little bit to thought I'm delusioned that I'm doing the right thing, but still the results are wrong. I'm not getting, because the results is always tell you the truth. If now my audience are listening, just look to your results now and it will tell you a story. It will tell you what you have been doing, was your programs been telling you to do, and that's it. But the wrong point is we let the present results dictate the future. And here is the biggest mistake.
And what has this caused you? I was thinking, and you mentioned some of them, but has this been causing frustration, or have you been... I was ashamed. I remember I couldn't produce a life for my family the way I thought I could, but what's been the inner workings of the mind while you were going through these, well,
Sure.
difficult times, that, and then not knowing who are you and what you want?
Just later, I understood what was going on with me. But at that point, I did not understand, because I would love to share that with our audience. Understanding is the key to freedom. I will repeat that. Understanding is the key to freedom. Once you start understanding what is going on, who am I, how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, how I'm acting, why I'm behaving like that, you start creating that level of awareness, that knowledge, that knowing that what is going on. But if I go back to that period, and with the awareness now that I have, I can tell that it's because one thing, it's because of ignorance. I was ignorant. I was not aware. I did not have that level of awareness to know what was going on with me. I was having the doubt of worry for any simple thing. I was having that fear from anything, losing my job, or a problem that I'm thinking of it. And it will happen because I'm thinking of the wrong things, the wrong way. That's why I'm doing the wrong things. And that leads me to somehow anxiety. But I didn't know how to get out of that because I don't have the roadmap. And I thought if I'm out of debt, I will be free of everything. But to tell you the truth, by 2020, I was out of debt. I'm still the same feelings. So it's not about chasing money. It's not about just the situation that you are in. It's about you, and it's about understanding yourself.
Oh, what a powerful story. I really loved it. And I have seen quite a few people who hit the wrong target. And unfortunately, then comes the realization that, oops, I worked for this for the last 5-10 years and it wasn't it. Wow. So
Just if you allow me, that period from 2010 to 2020, beginning of 2020, I was doing good somehow on the professional level. And I went from like project engineer to be head of department in one of the companies. And then I moved to another company. I was the head of facilities management. I was managing $3 billion assets under management. So professionally, I was doing well. But that doesn't mean that personally or something inside of me that it's okay. So I was not expressing it, I was suppressing it. And it's a huge thing to suppress things, because anxiety, once it continue with us, we'll be suppressing it. We don't share it with others. And by that period, I was meeting lots of people between like 40s, 50s, and 60s. And I was having that doubt and more worry that I don't want to go to that age, and they are frustrating. They're not enjoying their life. They're not enjoying their work or their field, even whatever they are working, and even on the personal level. So that gives more way to think more about my life. What should be I doing now? So I don't wait till that time and I'm stuck.
wow, what a typical scenario for, I guess, for a lot of leaders in corporate.
Yes.
I
That's
do.
why I will just encourage everyone is listening to us. Never suppress. Never. Just express it. Just shout in a pillow, whatever it is. We're human beings. Just express it, because if you keep suppressing it, it would lead to depression, and that's disease, and that what leads to disintegration. And I was going to that point by 2018. I remember that. But what happened is I shifted the job from one job to another, from contracting project management to facility management. This gives me a little bit of just faith or something, but it was a delusion. I, I want to be very frank. It was a delusion, but it took me 2 years. I was enjoying the work, but after 2 years, I found out that I'm still stuck. I got a better income, like 25%, let's say. But after some time, it's not about the income. It's about the limitations inside of us. It's how we believe in ourselves.
Would you say, I mean, my understanding is that depression is just the first step, and people who keep suppressing and not confronting the facts and their intuition and their, you know, and their feelings, then later on it leads to chronic disease, and it will be hard to reverse it. Would you want to speak to that a bit?
Yeah, I will make it just very simple. Like for a kid like 10 years old can understand what I'm saying, because things starts from that age. From once we are born, we have an open subconscious mind, then we'll be programmed genetically and environmentally from the family, school, friends, university later, and from this life, short life. But the point here is God gave us the will to choose. So this thought of energy of thought that we are flowing to us, we have the ability to choose. And we've been conditioned in the school. They never taught us about how to make decisions and about the choice. So imagine something, any situation happening in front of you. We are always looking to the negative in it. We are always highlighting the bad of that situation. So that's what will grow with time. So from that point, it's because of ignorance, because they never, even in school, they didn't teach us so much about ourselves, who we are, our capabilities, how we think. And from that point, if we have that level of awareness and level of understanding, that we are free to choose whatever we want. But we were overwhelmed with negative thoughts and limited beliefs that you could not do that. You will fail. And you let the records of the school record dictate what you're doing. You're a failure. So you've been fed off those negative points until you get to the point that you start getting the doubt and worry because of the ignorance. It starts with the ignorance. It's a choice. We choose the ignorance. But after certain time, we have to understand, create this understanding through study to choose the positive side. It's the knowledge side. It's learning, studying ourselves. Or we'll get to the point of disintegration. I hope I answered your question.
Interesting how you see it. I have a slightly different view, and I would love to understand if you want to expand on this. See, the way I see it, it's absolutely ignorance, but there is so much unawareness and, let's say, disempowering programming taking place in schools, which is helping a lot of people to be slaves. Let's say they become slaves. That I feel that I don't want to blame them because they didn't know what they are going into. There was some wonderful marketing. You get a good job, you will have, you know, X amount of money in the house. But I feel that they deserve to be educated once and for all if they were not properly educated in school. And that's what I believe is happening. They are pretty much squashing talent and squashing people so they will fit into the labor market. Do you want to talk to this?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight this point because one of my driving points is my kids. And the thing started in 2020, beginning that it happened that we've been locked in for like 6 months once COVID hits. And that period was a huge change in my life. I still remember it because I will never forget it. It was the point where I made that decision. I was working from home and have the ability to step out from this, I call it the rat race, like a hamster, the wheel in a hamster in the wheel, just running day to day. And I said to myself, like, I've spent like 10 years working very hard But at the end, I'm still I'm in the zero level. I covered all the debt, but I don't want to continue the same way of living. There should be a way different to get better result and have a bigger impact. So, and at the same time, I was thinking of my kids because in school, we've been conditioned just to know the things, not do the things. And I've seen that in myself. They never taught us about three things. The number one is about ourselves, about our potential, about who we are and the capabilities that we have. The second thing, they never taught us about earning money. You could have like PhD in economics, but you don't know how to earn money and have maybe multiple sources of income. And the third one is the decision and how to make decisions and the choices and the necessity of making decisions. So I made to myself that commitment that I have to make something for keep a legacy for my kids so they will not be somehow lost and waste their time. I'm not against education, but once I'm talking with my kids, I tell them where are you going and why you're going, okay, to school. So because I see education is sacred. I'm not against that, but there's lots of things is missing there. That's why we've been conditioned to go to school, remember this, you have some records, if you have a good memory, you'll pass it, and then you have a degree in that. But once you go to and have the career job and then move forward in life, but sometimes after some time you'll feel that you're stuck. Maybe you didn't like the field that you've been in. Maybe you didn't like the job because we don't understand what do we really want. And that's why I made that decision by 2020 that I have to start this self-discovery about myself, this journey. And I made that decision. I started reading books about self-improvement and personal development. And to be frank, it took me 2 years just following those things. And I was swinging. It took me 2 years of swinging period, just installing those new programs, new habits. But after some time, I'm going back to the old program. I didn't know why. So because I was alone also at the same time. Then I thought after 2 years, maybe because I'm having a background in engineering, maybe I should have a business background and have my own business. And I did it. I did my MBA in 22, and I was having a business mentor through that period, Chris Harron, and he supported me a lot. And I found that I recognized the necessity of having a mentor in our life or a coach, because they will light your way, they will guide your way. They don't tell you what to do, but they will tell you how to think. And in school, they never taught us how to think, to be very frank. Just remember those things and go for exam. And I was able to make 3 investments in that year, and I started my own business. But I found out by end of that year that that's not what I'm looking for. So by that period, I was like I was swinging between the old version of me and the new version of me, and what do I really want? And this is normal. And it's a journey. It's not a destination. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. And I encourage everyone to look for their purpose in life, because we've been born. The most two important days is the day we're born and the day we know why we are born.
Yeah, the question that comes to me, and two things came up. One is, and you can speak to this, of course, one would be probably the missing piece is not making decisions is important, but not knowing how to use this powerful machine, the mind, to create results is a massive, massive problem, because I did make decisions and I didn't go in circles for 2 years. I did it for probably 20 years, not like you. And well done, my friend, that you've been faster and more sharp to realize what's going on. I was really running in my circles. But I also wanted to ask you, along with that, when you said at home with your kids. By the way, I became a homeschooler at that point when I realized school is not somewhere around my kids. Do you want to speak to that? Like what realizations has come to you with having time with your kids at home?
I always learn from them. I always learn from them. And just last summer, I've learned a lot from them. Just imagine that just we are those always goal organisms. We're looking for goals, bigger goals. We've been born just we walk. Oh, I'm walking, and then I'm riding the bike. I'm riding without hands. So we've been conditioned. We are in the genetics looking. We're people that always look for bigger goals. But because of the doubt and worry that is fed because of the environment, we are having those limits. And those limitation is growing and affecting our identity. And we will never outperform our identity. So if I go back a little bit just to that period, once I finished the 22 and I finished my master's degree and I have my last meeting with my mentor, and I was thanking him for the great results that I did. But I asked him what's next. And he told me, if you like stayed 6 months not doing anything, because I told him, very frankly, I don't see myself continuing in whatever I'm doing. I started the business, there's a system in it, it's an income for me, but I don't feel I belong to that. And he told me, if you stay like 6 months not doing anything, what would be the one thing you'll be loved to do it? And I was so frank with him. I said, I don't know. I don't know. And then he gave me like, I will give you a hint because you have like 15 years in product management, contracting, and facility management. Why you don't have your own consulting business? And I told him, I don't feel that I want to continue in that field. So I want to tell the audience, sometimes you've been in one place like for 10, 15 years, but that's not what you're looking for. That's not your passion. Maybe it's a different level of awareness. And that point, I was keep asking myself, I want to learn more about success, wealth management, and about the mind. There is something behind that, about the human potential. Why there are some people, they don't have any degrees and they are very successful. And I can see lots of people, they have like high degrees, but they are not. They couldn't find a job. So I started going deeper into that by 23, beginning of 23. And at the same time, my driving point was my kids at the same time, because I don't want to let them live the same way I was like raised. I don't want to put limits on them. So I was learning from them at the same time, their imagination. Just if they fell down and they continue, everyone failed. We should not just stop from trying. So those are huge lessons from our kids. So I want to empower that. And I want to learn more about human potential and just unlock that from the beginning. Why I want to wait just until they are 20 years old or 25 years old and then they understand it, or 30 years old. It's too late. Why I couldn't implement it from now, once they are 6 years old or 7 years old. And that's what I did. So through that research that I started doing in 23 until I met, or I was introduced to Proctor Institute. And there where I started reading the materials, everything starts to connect and wire in my mind. Where I was winning and why I was winning. Where I was losing and why I was losing. And where I was lying to myself. So those questions are so essential for us, so you can leverage the things and understand that we don't have any limits, only the mind. So it's a game of the mind. And from that point, I found out, I recognized that that's what I'm looking for, because I was looking for an organized knowledge, a powerful knowledge, where it will go to the root cause of the problem to solve that problem of the human potential. And I found it with that person. So I said, I will apply it more on myself. And it took me 1 year, all 23. I was applying those principles. I was working by law, and I didn't understand. I didn't know that there was laws governing this universe. It's God's laws. So I was working against the laws, and that's why I was losing. I was waiting results without giving any value. I was just wants the thing on the spot. This is against the law. So once I start understanding those laws and being in harmony with those laws, everything changed. Just within 1 year, the change was huge, was exponential. I was able to hit the 7 figures just in almost 2 years. And by the end of that year, I made the decision that that's what I'm looking for. And that's where I will spend my life, because my mentor, Bob Proctor, spent 60 years of his life just studying this material and helping others. And I said to myself, that's what I'm looking for. And I will continue this message to empower and guide others, individuals and corporates, to achieve their peak performance and create quantum leaps. And it's not just one time, temporary. I want to create continuous quantum leap. It's permanent changes to live that life of freedom.
And how did you change? Because this is a lot of understanding. How did you change your children's education when this has become clear to you?
Perfect. The point is, once they are like, once they are in an age that I think you could start from like 3 years old or 4 years old. You could, because their subconscious mind is open. Now, as you know, 96 to 98% of perceptions, behaviors, results are coming from our subconscious mind. So whatever you impress in that subconscious mind, it will be by default a result. And only 2 to 4% are conscious. So what I'm doing is I'm aware of how I'm talking with them. I'm aware to let them see what I'm doing in front of them. So I'm leading by example. This is the first simple step you can do. And I'm aware to let them hear what they should be hearing. So because for them now, they are using somehow the 5 senses, until after some time, I want to develop their 6 mental faculties. And we could expand on those 6 mental faculties because they are the best. Those kids are connected to the spirit. They are perfect. I don't want to give any viruses to them, any doubt, any worry. At the end, we are human beings. There will be like fear, but I know how to treat that because I understand myself. So I can understand others.
And have you looked at what environments are you exposing them to? Maybe
Exactly.
school and teachers, all of
Exactly.
you being vigilant?
Exactly. And that's why just being aware of what you're talking to them, what you're let them see, what they're hearing, and their environment. This is so essential. And environment, it's much stronger from the genetics. Environment, it's much stronger in programming for the kids more than genetics. That's why I encourage the parents to have more understanding about themselves, more control about themselves, more awareness, so they could reflect that on their kids.
That's a big job
Yeah, it
because
starts from the house, from the home, from the dad and mom. It's not easy, but they are the future. That's why I want them. And this is opposite to ignorance, which is the knowledge side, the positive side, which it happens through study. Only way is through study. There's lots of forms of study. And study, one of the ways of study is studying ourselves, understanding our capabilities, how we think, feel, and act. And that what leads to understanding and consciously. And through repetition of those principles, of the laws, how it works, and of the laws of the mind, how the mind works, you start creating a faith, a belief in yourself. You start creating that identity, the strong identity, that discipline, that decisions, that attitude, that self-image. And all those will automatically create you to make those good results or the better results because you are programmed already on that. And at the beginning, it will be much easier than waiting until they are 15 or 16 or 18 years old. So start now. Don't say it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. Just start now by yourself first, because it's like the masks. It's once it's flowing down up from flowing down in the airplane. The first thing they tell you, put the mask on yourself first. So the first point is to take that step, have the courage to take that step, and have that self-control, is understanding yourself. Once you make that understanding of yourself, you could lead by example. And this is the power. It's not pushing them to do the things, is lead by example.
Wonderful. So who are your typical clients? Someone's listening, then how would they know if they need to contact you?
First, to be frank, I would love to work. Now, some on the audience listen to my story. I would love to work with people who I was used to be, who I'm used to be, because I went through lots of phases. I said I was in the desperate phase, then I moved to the delusion, and then swinging, and then after 23, I was at a well-being. And that's what I was saying. From knowledge side, through study, you'll get to understanding level on the conscious level, then faith on the subconscious level, until you express it, you'll be a well-being. And that will lead to acceleration and creativity. So I would love to work with people who are stuck somehow because of unwilling to commit, or they are distracted inside or outside, or they're doing the wrong thing. Believe me, success, it's not a secret. It's doing things in a certain way. That certain way is by law. So if I work usually with individuals and businesses who wants to create, they are inspirationally dissatisfied from their results, and they want to 10x their results. They have a great desire to make a change and stop grinding and create that life of freedom. It's not something that at the beginning, it's hard. It's not easy, to be frank. At the middle, it's foggy, it's not clear, but at the end, it's effortless. It's so easy. I did it. Everyone is able. The only point is to be willing to change.
What are the three things that comes up to you as maybe a top tip or giveaway for someone who is feeling, well, they are not happy inside. They know they should be doing something else, but they don't know what that is. And they have that inkling feeling of, I might not be in the right place. And I need something else, but I don't know what that is.
So amazing. This question is so easy. There's two things what makes us unhappy. Through my experience and what I've learned and wherever I'm now, there's 2 points that makes me unhappy. Number one is perfectionism. I don't start until it's perfect. I don't want to start then I'm ready until I'm ready. I'm judging myself. I'm judging myself on the good things and the bad things. That makes you unhappy. That makes you not progress in your work. And the second thing is procrastination, is not doing the things. Those two actions will keep you unhappy, will keep you said, I don't deserve that. Oh, I can't do it. That will keep you in the same loop. If you keep focusing on what is missing, if you keep focusing on the past, if you keep focusing on the present, your thoughts, I'm talking, or if you keep thinking what others want you to do, you'll be concentrating, just focusing your energy on unnecessary thoughts that will lead you to unnecessary results that you don't want to have. So you have to say enough is enough. You have to make a decision. And making decision requires 3 points. Number one is, what is the decision that I want to make? And is it aligned with my goal? Number two is, what is the cost I have to pay in return? Is it money? Is it effort? Is it the relationship? Or is it a career or a business or a friend? And three, am I willing to pay the cost? So if you made that decision and you connected with the things that are not making you happy, and you know what do you really want? If you connect all those together, you'll be almost 50% of the problem is solved. And the other 50%, you have like some invisible things that you could use, which is the decision. Always make decisions from your goal as if you achieve your goal. Two, it's your discipline. Because not being disciplined will that's the self-love, you know. Self-worth is through discipline. You respect yourself. You accept and reject the ideas that are aligned with your goal. And three, your standards, your core values. What do you say yes to and you say no to? Do you accept like what others talking about you, or just you ignore it and reject it? And are you disciplined to your goals or not? Three, the fourth one is your identity. I will repeat that to our audience. You will never outperform your identity, and no one can change your identity other than you. No one. A mentor, a coach can help you, can guide you to make that shift, but he cannot change it for you. You have to do the work. For me, and the last one is the attitude, and it's your perspective to life and how you view the life. But to me, I don't prefer to work with everyone. I love to work with people that they are willing to change. They have this burning desire to change. And that's what's the most necessary thing. It's the willingness. It's not the ability, because we are all able.
Wonderful. What would you be celebrating in 5 years' time if things went well for you?
Excuse me?
What would you be celebrating in 5 years' time if things went well for you?
Yeah. Being in the Middle East, and as you see, my vision and my mission and my goal is, because I see myself in that field. I can't see myself anywhere else. But to be very frank, I never thought about being in that field, just the beginning of this year. So I would be maybe celebrating that I'm one of the top coaches in the Middle East. But from now, I see myself, I'm the top coach in the Middle East. And I will keep that judgment for the audience, but it's all about the results. The results will always tell you the truth. And here's the one important thing is about celebrating. Because sometimes we celebrate things and we stay there. I would advise everyone, just celebrate for a moment and move. Always have this emotional discipline. Because successful people always let their mindset much stronger than mindset. They let their emotions stronger, their mindset stronger than their emotions. And that's why they have this emotional discipline. If they have like a success, they gather success, they celebrate it for a moment and they move on. If they have a failure, they recover and they move on. And that's what creates calmness in the mind. And we understand how to make decisions, and clear decisions. I make decisions in microseconds.
Amazing. What have I not asked you, Ahmed, that you wanted to share today as we are slowly getting to the end of this deep conversation?
Just anyone who feel that he's stuck somewhere in his life, in his relationship, in his results, in his financial, in his career, he wants to start his own business or her own business. He wants to have this balanced life, fulfilling life, a life of freedom. There is a way. And if there is a way and you want really to know potential about it, just contact me. It's not a secret. It's not. Just my advice to you is look for a great mentor. And as Warren Buffett said, and he's the most successful person, one of the most successful person in the financial field, he said, we always need great mentors. Look for a great mentor who have those results in his life, and leverage the time. Time is a very limited resource. and don't connect the things back. Don't say that once I'm here, I will do this. Don't delay things. Just do it now, wherever you are, with whatever you have, because big things are ahead for everyone. I'm not motivating you. I don't motivate my clients. I just tell them how to think. And this is the mindset. And this is my task as a mentor or as a coach, is to let the mentee having the same mindset of this mentor, of his mentor. So there's always a way if you change your 5 invisible powers. I will repeat them: your decisions, your discipline, 3, your standards, 4, your identity, your self-image, and 5, your attitude. Those invisible, everyone have it. And don't let your 5 senses, just observe the current results, and don't let this current result dictate, because it's telling you a story of the past. Don't let the past dictate. The past is past, done. So observe it and use your 6 mental faculties, which is number 1, the reasoning. Think in a different way. Think out of the logic that you have. Think what I can do better. Whom should I contact? Where I should be. Change your place, maybe. Change your career. I don't know. Don't be doing the same things day after day. If you keep doing the same thing, same way of thinking, you'll get the same results. 2, your imagination. Imagination, just your knowledge will take you from A to B. But your imagination with this knowledge will take you everywhere. So imagine the idea. Have this great idea in your mind. And keep thinking, imagine it, and a clear picture for it, and you'll get it. It had to be manifested. 3 is your intuition, is the ability to read the vibration of others. And first, once you start understanding yourself, you start understanding others. 4 is the memory. Don't usually be conditioned to use the memory. Oh, you remember we did this mistake, and you remember we failed that time. The memory will set the vibration of your body. If you remember something good, you'll get it. You remember something good, you'll get in this positive energy. But if you have a failure, just don't remember the failure. Remember the lessons that you have learned to have this emotional discipline. And your perception. And your perception is the way of how you view the world, your point of view. And here it applies the law of polarity. For any situation, there's a positive, whatever it is small, or there is a negativity for it. So how you perceive it, how you perspect that. If you see the situation as a problem, or as a challenge, or as an opportunity. And the last one is the will. Is the ability to focus on what do you really want. Make it as a brain tattoo. This is a very important question that everyone, and I encourage everyone listening to us, ask yourself, what do I really want? More than anything else. Don't ask, never think about the how. Think, what do I really want? You're able, you're willing. You have this deep desire, I want that. And let it be a fantasy. Let's use your imagination. Don't put just small goals. You can put small goals. It's up to you. A goal, something you can do. B goal, it's something you think you can do with your resources. I go for C goals. I love to work with my clients with C goals, the 10x, let's say 5x. I'd love that. It's your responsibility. It's your life. It's your choice. And let go of the attachment. Don't be attached to anything.
Powerful. Ahmed, this was gold. Probably I'll make a small reel out of this. And guys, reach out to Ahmed. This is, you've got the man here to help you out from your stumbling to success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for having me.